Wow, what a huge day today. This morning started off with a session with Robert, and I went to his place and we touched on what happened to me during my leadership talks. And it seems like whenever I get feedback from the group, I retreat into like this childhood place where I don't want to listen to anyone, and I find it really challenging to re-engage with the group. And so Robert decided it would be a good idea for us to do a voice dialogue. So the voice dialogue, I'll actually make another short video on what a voice dialogue is so you guys can understand. But we did a voice dialogue and went to my childhood place, a place where I felt really, really young. We recreated the moment where like I get hurt from hearing any kind of criticism or feedback. And I was about 2 to 3 years old, and the kind of dialogue that I had was like, I don't need anyone, I don't want anything from anyone, no one's reliable, no one's trustworthy, I can't do anything right, so like I may as well just be perfect and try and achieve perfection, because that's the only way I get love, because being myself I don't get love. And that's played out quite a bit in my relationships, where I feel like if I'm not perfect, and I tend to pick partners that are really critical, and if I'm not perfect, then I fail, and so it becomes this never-ending cycle of wanting to be perfect, and I can't be. I need to accept that there are things that you just can't do. But anyway, this child comes out whenever I get feedback, and it's like me playing with my Lego when I'm 2 to 3 years old, and I love Lego, and Lego was my go-to. I had control over it, I can be creative with it, and it was within the realms of whatever my parents thought that was me being constructive and creative with my energy. So I could be perfect. And I remember making models that were perfect. I would make all kinds of transforming models and all kinds of stuff. But anyway, that's where I went. That was one part of the voice dialogue. The other part of the voice dialogue was a protector, and a part of me that is quite creative at protecting that childhood me from being hurt. So, and that plays out in relationships by reading someone and knowing what they like, what ticks their boxes, and then adapting to that behaviour. And I've done that in my life quite a bit, just to avoid being hurt. So I'll play it safe. When the group sees this, and this is what I love about the group, is the group can see this and go, that's not who you are. You're being someone that you're not. And then the third person is this really joyful and loving and giving man, creature that sees everyone as himself, and just wants to connect with them all and share a love and compassion, and just wants to be himself and share himself with the world. And that third manifestation, that third being is who I want to be. And he's not around because I allow the wounding of the child to take over, that 2 to 3 year old child to take over. And there was also a fourth, a critic of myself, and the difference between all of them, and what's wrong with me. Like, I feel like I can't be myself because any form of rejection would just kill me. I'm afraid to be myself. I'm just afraid to be rejected for being who I really am. So I'll be something that I think everyone wants me to be. And that's a pattern that's played out in my life a lot. So much so there are times when I go, why am I even doing whatever action I'm currently doing? Am I doing this for me? Am I doing this for someone else? At my corporate job, it was the same thing. I was like, who am I doing this for? Am I doing it for my dad? Am I doing it for my mum? Like, who am I doing it to attract a mate? Like, even like I've gone out of my way to create partner bait, where it's like, like I'll dress a certain way, I'll have fragrances that I know are particularly enticing, I'll behave a certain way, well, I said that, dress a certain way, like shoes, clothes, I know how to be charming, and I feel, who am I doing this for? It's not for me. It's to attract someone that, I'm lonely. I feel lonely, so I'll like pretend to be something that I'm not, and it's really quite sad and crazy making, angry making at the same time, because I feel like I don't really show people who I really am, and which means I attract people that like me for what I'm not. And then I get surprised when people go, that's not you. Who's this? Who is this person that we're talking to? What is this? And it doesn't surprise me when people like don't want to hang around or lose contact or struggle to connect. But yeah, that's what happened today. It was a really big day, and I'm really looking forward to this weekend and the coming months of the leadership training. But my story today was pretty epic. Uncovered some real deep and dark stuff as well. There's a lower self to me in all of that, where like anyone that gives me feedback, like the energy to want to hurt them, cause physical harm to them is there. I can feel that shadow. I can feel that, like, and that's why, like, the energy when I said like stuff you, I don't need, that the pushback from like stuff you, I don't need your feedback internally. That's what I feel. Is coming from a place of like I want to hurt people that tell me, criticize me or give me feedback that's unwelcomed, which wind it down to the 2 to 3 year old child. Like that's how I would have felt towards my parents. Like I want to kill them as a child, and I can't because I need them to survive. So I developed defenses to survive, which became the protector, and he's protected me ever since. So got some stuff to work through there. I don't know if anyone would resonate with that. I think a lot of people would, especially people that have the achiever or rigid character structure. But anyway, that's my story, and thank you for listening.